AMD's mid-tier has hit retail. RAM about to drop in price, and Nvidia's giving you what you want, whether or not that's a good thing. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Forgot what month it was. And it appears that some retailers have forgotten what day it is, because even though we're expecting AMD to launch their mid-tier GPU on May 25th, towards the start of Computex, it looks like some retailers already have the RX 7600 on store shelves. This being provided by somebody who took a picture of the Sapphire cards at an undisclosed store somewhere in Asia. Now, the price point of these GPUs are not yet known. The official specs are not super known. We do know that it has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, ray tracing, Radeon Boost, and Radeon Anti-Lag. Additionally, we're expecting this to come in severely below the most recently launched GPUs of the 7900 XTX and 7900 XT. Can we just take a moment to appreciate that it has been a long time since AMD has given us any sort of GPU. We have been sitting here waiting for anything from the mid-tier, and now it is finally happening. It's hitting store shelves, and in case you want to prepare yourself to potentially pick up a 7600, you might want to do so by selling your old graphics card to Jawa, who's sponsoring today's video, because in case you have a GPU that's lying around, or you want to potentially upgrade to the RX 7000 or RTX 40 series, selling your GPU to Jawa is going to be the simplest way to get that done. You enter in which GPU you're trying to get rid of, they'll give you a price for it, and then they'll take the GPU off your hands. But in case you want to go through the more traditional way of doing it and selling it via the classifieds, they also have that, because Jawa is a marketplace for gamers by gamers, where you can either sell your PC parts, you can buy PC parts from verified sellers, you can even have them kit out a system for you with their commission build program, where they'll partner you with a verified seller who's going to give you a system that matches what you're trying to build and buy for, what games, what refresh rates, what resolutions you're trying to target. Or if you just want a window shop, you want to find out how much is a given part that you have, Jawa would be the place to do it. They also have a trusted community with over 8,000 members on Discord that you can check out. So trade in your GPU with Jawa, window shop for the next great thing at the link in the video description. Big thanks to Jawa for sponsoring today's video. But one of the things that you probably shouldn't be buying from Jawa, I know they're a sponsor, but I'm just gonna say it, if we're seeing this coming down the pipeline, maybe don't buy used RAM at this point, because prices, allegedly, at least according to resources in the industry, are going to be continuing to drop even further. TrendForce is indicating that both DRAM and NAND flash prices have to decrease even more because there is still an oversupply of these parts. They're expecting another 18% drop in Q 2023. And if we look at what UFD Deals gave us on Monday, RAM is already dirt cheap, 16 gigabytes going for like 55 bucks, and that's for a nice white kit with RGB. We're gonna decrease even more, which is why I say maybe don't buy used. You can potentially buy it as part of a whole bundle. But if new prices are gonna be this cheap, they're already at like nearly rock bottom prices, and they're going to be continuing to decline even further. You might want to look to hold off and buy a new. Let's see if Reece has any RAM deals for us at UFD Deals today.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to UFD Deals. As you can see, we're having a scuff deals today. We have no power for no reason whatsoever. Things brokey, but you know, scuff deals, best deals, and I've got the best stuff for you. Starting with the Silicon Power Value Gaming DDR4 RAM set. This 32 gig kit running at 3200 MHz at CL16 is going for only $49.97, which is only $10 off, but at that price, it's literally one of the lowest I've ever seen a 32 gig kit go for. But then next up, we have the Sony WF-1000XM4. These wireless noise cancelling in-ear headphones are currently going for only $199.99, which is $80 off for an amazing set of in-ears. But if you're looking for something over-ear, then the Sennheiser EPOS collab with the GSP370 gaming headset is currently going for only $118.37, making it 41% off. And then last but not least, we have the AMD Ryzen 7 5700X. This amazing 8-core AM4 processor is currently going for only $178.99, making it $120.01 off the total price. Don't forget to use the included promo code for an extra $13 off just to seal the deal. And that's it. Those are the deals for today. You can find these and more listed in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. And also just remember, frick ESCOM. I'm mad. You probably can't even hear that because of the noise cancelling. Yes. frick them.
Thank you, Reece, but what's the deal with Samsung's foundry? Yeah, I went with a new segue on that one today. Anyways, turns out Samsung says that they are looking forward to beating TSMC in the next 5 years. In case you're not familiar, foundries are places where companies take your chip designs and then they make it into a physical product. A company like Nvidia traditionally has been using TSMC for the last little while to produce their graphics cards. Then all of a sudden, with the RTX 30 series, they are like, oh, let's go try out Samsung's 8nm node. Allegedly, at least according to behind the scenes reports, they were never happy with it. It never yielded the results that they wanted, and so they switched on over to TSMC for the RTX 40 series, which is still not going as well as they could possibly want. But that part of that is because Samsung is behind TSMC in technology, to which even Samsung is saying that is true. They lag behind TSMC, however, saying that they can outperform TSMC within 5 years. So we could potentially see an ongoing battle between Samsung and TSMC, maybe even making your next generation graphics card. AMD has done this with their CPUs. They were making them at Global Foundries when Ryzen first launched, and then as Global Foundries couldn't keep up with foundry and node changes, it turned out that TSMC was going to be the best bet for them. Right now, Samsung's own product line with the Qualcomm chips are made at TSMC, but we can maybe even see something like Apple getting their chips designed at Samsung in the future if TSMC can't keep pace with Samsung. Samsung seems pretty confident that's going to be happening. And we should be pretty confident that you might be able to get a free GPU with your brand new RTX 40 series card, because there's leaked Best Buy listing showing that Diablo 4 might come free with select 40 series cards. Now, from what I've gathered, this is going to be the 4070 and up, not the 4060 or 4060 Ti, which we're going to talk about in a second. But this is way better than the Overwatch 2 Battle Pass situation that they've been bundling with graphics cards. I don't even know who really is redeeming that. Kyler, like, kind of half plays Overwatch 2 and like still can't even be bothered to redeem that with the 4070 that we purchased at Micro Center. He's just like, is it worth it? I don't even know. But let me know. Does Diablo 4 being included with your Nvidia GPU make you more enticed to buy one? And let me know whether this makes you more enticed to buy one. Nvidia's gonna give you what you want, all right? Everybody's been kicking and screaming all over the internet. I've had fierce opinions about this, which has gone against the mainstream, but Nvidia sees fit to not just give you 8 gigabytes of RAM on the 4060 Ti, but according to reports on well-known leakers, they're gonna be announcing a 4060 Ti 16 gig. It's possible that it's actually even been announced by the time you're watching this video here today, but according to reports, the 4060 Ti 8 gigabyte should be announced this month and released this month, whereas the 16 gig will get announced now and be released in July, very similar to the RTX 4060, with only 8 gigabytes of VRAM being announced now and releasing in July. So there you go, Nvidia giving you more VRAM. You've been begging for it. You wanted 16 gigabytes as a minimum, and now the 4060 Ti is gonna do that for you. The only huge big old problem that I have with this is that it changes literally nothing about the worst parts of the 4060 Ti. The 4060 Ti is going to be a 60 FPS 1440p high settings card. You don't need 16 gigabytes of VRAM for that. You could probably get by with 12. I could see the argument for 12. 8 gigabytes likely will get most people by just fine. It doesn't get rid of the fact that it's still on only 8 PCI Express lanes, or change the fact that it still only has 288 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, which is still less than the RTX 3060. Nvidia is giving you worse setup, and they're just giving you extra VRAM because you asked for it. And yes, it might make a difference in some select scenarios, in some select games, and in which case I'm glad you can get the 4060 Ti, but it won't change the fact that the memory speed is bad and that the core isn't fast enough, and that if you got a faster core, even with 8 gigabytes of VRAM, you'd have a faster card, and the VRAM's not actually what's slowing you down. Here you go, 16 gigabytes. I'm sure that's Nvidia's gonna be like, we heard gamers saying they don't like how little VRAM we're giving them, so we decided to just give them a little more. Are you gonna pay the extra price for it? Are you? I don't know. This salts my onions, I'll tell you that much. Let me know if the 16 gigabyte 4060 Ti makes you happy. I think it doesn't get rid of the worst parts of the 4060 Ti. The 4060 Ti is worse in ways that aren't the VRAM amount. But some could argue that small progress is good progress, and I'm gonna progress to the end of this episode of Hot News. I'll be back here with more of the hottest tech news for you tomorrow, my friends.